and Ryan Stone. He's a halfway decent looking guy, a nice smile. You have to get through that wall because he...
79T 2458 Learning Corp, Little Red Riding Hood, take one.
Somebody find out the real names for me.
40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense?
You have to get through that wall.
I only know what my heart feels.
Where they say there are indie people pooping on our beach.
Socially retarded.
It's a spool of wire. 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone.
It's good to see all you guys again. Hey, it's been a while. The new camera's in. It's we're working on it. New studio, all that work. It's gonna be fun. I think you're gonna like it. The only thing that sucks though. So if you guys see, I got this giant cement pillar in the way, and if it wasn't there, that would be like a shot of the CN Tower. I thought it'd be a great background. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work. So as things progress, we'll beautify the frame up pretty well. Oh, that's good stuff. I don't care because my podcast is goddamn good. I'm only 80% white. And I don't care about your opinion anyway, sir or madam. I don't know. Are you allowed to say any more? Yeah, welcome. It's Red Morning. I have a good one for you today. It was a... So if you don't know, I'm out of red pill stuff to talk about. There's nothing more red pill out there. There just isn't, as far as I can tell. There may be some peripheral things. Like the parenting side of stuff is pretty slim pickings. The career side of stuff is actually the best out of the peripheral stuff. But even then, like, it all pales in comparison to what's in the sexual part of things, and that's fine. Because, and here's the funny part. Here's what guys found out, is that once you sort out like the basic framework stuff, once you understand and epitomize the idea of frame in a relationship, when you understand the idea of what dread is meant to do and how you perform it and why you're doing it, and like game, the general self-improvement stuff, you put all that stuff together, and it turns out it's applicable just about anywhere. Like, you're not going to see it not work. And so when it came to parenting, for example, a lot of guys found out, well, just treat my daughter the same way as if I'm going on a date talking to a girl. Just like take the sex out of the sexual stuff, and it's just game. You know, don't simp for her, which a lot of dads do. A lot of dads simp for their daughters. And so it didn't get a lot of work. Same thing with the workplace stuff. A lot of guys were, oh, let's do a red pill workplace thing. What are the tips and tricks? And a lot of guys found out then it's just the same thing. Like, if you're willing to hold strong boundaries, your work life tends to go better. If you're willing to treat, remember the old saying, I think it was Roosh that had this, where it was, men treat jobs the way women treat men. And unfortunately, in reverse, that was true for the longest times, that men were treating jobs the way men were treating women. And unfortunately, we were deifying women. So finally, guys were like, yeah, as soon as you're able to pull yourself together, have a bit of frame, be willing to walk away from shitty women, whether they be wives or mothers or girlfriends or mistresses or just dates. A lot of guys found out, if I start applying this same concept, treat my office the same way I would treat the chick I picked up at the bar. The bipolar girlfriend, and introduce yourself to the HR swarming career. And so then a lot of guys just started doing the same thing. And hey, turns out the workplace stuff works. The only thing that makes me sad is that guys figured this out right as the thing was getting started. So it kind of set us up to like not have that section. So there's nothing to mine from there, which is fine. At the longer I've been out of the corporate life, the less qualified I am to talk about it anyway, because I stopped sending out resumes before AI came out, which is a weird, like, back in my day to have. So I don't have the same, like, I have the experience of like doing the 100 resumes to get the one callback thing and understand the power of networking versus the actual resume stuff. Like, I get that. But it's at a level now that's just a lot more, which is always kind of the dating thing. Guys have been bitching forever about how, like, women are so much harder now. It's like it's a little bit harder, but the principle's still the same. And it's not like women weren't, like, hot women weren't bitches to men they thought were beneath them in the 70s. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are we doing here? Yeah, what do you mean everything is there and it's just about excuses to not read and not do work? It's more than that, though. I find, like, it's not, like, you're not wrong, but I find that description is insufficient. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's me and my little mind. His comment here, and it's legit. It's true, but it's more than that. I find for some guys, it's not even that they don't want to do the work. It's that they can't even conceptualize what they're doing. Like, if you ask them to describe what they're doing, they will tell you what they aspire to and truly believe it's what they're doing. I see it a lot. You see it a whole lot. I am now alpha. I am doing this. I am making money that. I've got game. I hold my frame well enough. All that stuff. And then you get them to describe it, and it's like the exact opposite. I'm simping for my wife, my girlfriend, whatever. Dude, I'm going to have to start blasting lights in here. I look like a shadow. Especially during the bright days. That was the one nice thing about the other studios. There was less natural light to have to worry about in there. But we'll figure it out. Until then, we get what we get. And I've always told you guys the story of, like, where a guy gets it and he, like, clicks something. One of the mental models clicks in his head, and then he sits there and he's like, oh, and he's describing, promise keepers or anything. And then he's doing it in his own words, and he doesn't even associate it with the mental model or the platitude that we talk about in here. But he kind of came to it in his own way. So those guys are even willing to do the work. The problem is there's a gap with a barrier in between. And on the one side is the stuff we talk about. This is holding frames, the Muse Mastery, this is a green amplify, whatever. And on this is the other side where actually doing it happens. And it's just very hard to get crosstalk. Now, I don't know what the mechanism is. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an asshole. There might be a perfectly reasonable mechanism in place that is why this happens. There could be an EvoPsych explanation that makes good enough sense. There could be a biological pathway thing. Maybe it really is the case. You put more testosterone in somebody and that barrier goes away. I don't know. And I'm fine with that. Because that's the other problem. Guys spend way too much time navel gazing about the why, as opposed to working with it. Like, once you understand, okay, this is a thing, you can work with it. No, I need to know why. And you're always wondering, like, what level of sophistication do you need? Like, remember, do you remember the Jordan Peterson thing where they were asking him a simple question? He's like, well, depending on what level of layer of resolution, the answer is completely different. And it's kind of like that. So, like, why is my wife acting bitchy to me? Well, what level of resolution do you want? Like, she's acting bitchy. The surface answer is it's either a shit test or a comfort test. It's either she has anxiety, worried about mate retention, and so her shitty behavior is her way of trying to get you to reassure her, but she's not very good at getting what she wants emotionally, and so they have, like, really shitty comfort tests. Or maybe it's the case that she doesn't find you attractive. She finds you in the way of her sexual strategy. She wants to cheat. She wants to divorce, stuff like that. And these answers are the same behavior, but completely opposite explanations, right? So what level of resolution do you want? Well, she doesn't find you attractive, or she's worried about losing you. That's the simple answer. And then what's the deeper answer? And that's when you get into, like, hypergamy and that. And then you get into the deeper answer. You start talking about biology and chemicals. And for a lot of guys, for some reason, they just have this desire to collect enough information because they think they need all the answers. And I get it. And this is kind of where me and my little mind is right. It's about excuses. It's not about excuses in the person's head, but it definitely plays out that way. Like, if it was, would it look any different? Well, just not finding me attractive is not good enough. Well, maybe not worried about losing me. That's not good enough. Well, the biological thing's not good enough. Well, let's get down to hormones. Once you get that answer, it's like, what? I need to know what kind of electrons they're firing. And it's kind of, at some point, you're going to have to do something, dude. And you realize it's not even laziness. It's fear. It's fear. What if I get it wrong? What if I think I'm king shit, but I'm really not? What if I'm worried about losing her because she doesn't find me attractive, and then that attacks my identity and it proves to me that I'm not as good as I thought I was? What if I wasted 35 years of my life thinking that I was like God's gift to women and did all the right things, only to find out not a single woman gives a shit and my wife would rather sleep with the gardener? It's a tough pill to take, man. That's why they call it zeroing out and not like 30ing it out. Dropping to nothing. It's not easy. Especially, we're social creatures, man. We're social creatures. You know, somebody tells you, hey, all the people that you have the strongest social connection with, they don't care. They don't care. They're out of here. They reject you wholeheartedly. They know you better than anybody on earth. And they've decided that you're not good enough. It's like, can you understand why guys lose their fucking minds? I do. Who's able to accept that? Well, red pill dudes, that's who. And that's the safety net. I love the safety net. And we're going to get to the topic about the anger stuff. So I love about the safety net, because you put a guy in that position. You tell him, yeah, your life's a lie. Everybody in your relationship hates you. Your family, friends. Like, there was even a tweet, and I hate being that guy to talk about tweets, but it's one of the people that I like following because they don't really care. They're not branding. They're just speaking about their own life. Let me see if I can. It was just this morning of all times. That one and the Minecraft Community Edition, which I'm like completely, I feel like such a fanboy. Oh, but I will get off on that. There it is. VK's midlife crisis. Love this guy. So, like, here's an example of what I'm talking about. Buddy took his 2-year-old to the doctor after he tripped on the porch. The lady at the hospital kept asking all kinds of weird questions about where's mom. And long story short, they actually went to another room away from dad, called the wife at work because, you know, I get it, but why are you also assumed to be guilty? See what I mean? As a guy, you're like, yeah, I'm the father. I'm the patriarch. You go to every professional. Hey, my son tripped on the porch and busted his knee up. Kids bust their knees up all the time. My brother broke his arm doing leg drops on the sofa during WrestleMania 12. It's like, I know it. I get it. But their first thought is, oh, where's mom? If she doesn't vouch that he's not a woman beater, we're going to have to do our due diligence. Meanwhile, a girl can walk up with cigarette burns on her kid's forehead and they won't say shit. So yeah, it's not an easy thing to accept. Yes, the red pill dudes, of course it gets you mad. You don't get to father children. You get to sire children at the whims of mom. And that sounds very, those red pill dudes. How can they hate things? And fatherhood's important. And they're doing that ought versus is thing. And it's like, all right, fine. Let's put it this way. Your kid gets a bruise at home. He goes into work. He goes into school. What are the odds they're going to think that mom did something versus dad did something? What are the odds they're going to think it was just kids being kids and busted it up? It's like, yeah, the world is not unhostile towards men, and it's a hard pill to swallow because we all like to think we're equal. We're all loved. We're all God's children. Yeah, not really. Meanwhile, kids are getting graped left, right, and center by the teachers. That latest one, dude, 13-year-old knocked up the chick. School teacher at like 23 or something. I think she's married. They're always married. And the guy always like, yeah, I'm going to stick it out through and through. It's like, dude. Or what's the other new one? Oh, there was a really fucking funny one. It was this chick. She banged one of her kid's friends from school. And then she told her kid to fight him for her honor or something. Like, it was the most like redneck ghetto shit you've ever heard. And I was just like, you besmirched my honor and banged my mom. We have to duel. And I'm just like, what's the point of this? Like, is it one of those sick and twisted versions of those girls that love watching their man get into fights because it proves that she can protect him? Is it like Mama's Boy taken to 11? Who fucking knows? Eames chair in the background. I know, man. I love that Eames chair. We had this thing, like when my girl first moved in with me, which is like, I don't know, 2010. 2009, 2010. Oh, I think it was 2010 because we only started dating in 2009. And it was 2011 we moved to Montreal. But yeah, that was her one piece of furniture. I'm like, yeah, dude, we're taking that. And that's not a replica. That's like a legit one. It's at the point where it needs like a bunch of restoration done to it. Because it turns out when you make furniture out of plywood, it's not the longest lasting stuff. And Sluggo, if you don't remember. If you guys haven't read Softbone yet, you guys really got to. I slip all kinds of goofy shit in there that's just so entertaining. Like the little flavoring. The character Jakov Longhouse, who's eventually Jake Long, he has an Eames chair in his house. And I was just looking over, I'm like, dude, that's a nice idea. And the idea was, because he's in a feminist techno dystopia, which is kind of like what we got now, but extreme. His one purchase that his wife allowed him to do, the one thing he was allowed to put into his own house, was this Eames chair. And then the idea is his wife just used it to hold, like, put laundry, unfolded, clean laundry, just dumps it on there. And I just found it thematically, it was great. This guy has like one thing in his life that shows you can be a man, you can live your life, you can be in control of your life. And it was that Eames chair, and it was the symbol for that. And his wife just threw her laundry on it. And at one point they have a pregnancy shirt, because in this techno-feminist dystopia, you're not allowed to have sex to procreate. You have to do in vitro for IVF, in vitro fertilization. And so when the wife wanted to have kids, she told dad jerked off into a thing, they send it off to the lab, they get it back. Once she's pregnant, he's also not allowed to touch the baby because of worries about, you know, that hypersensitivity to bacteria and stuff that women have. And so she has an iodine smelling pregnancy shirt. And every time he wants to touch the belly, she'd have to put it on. And it was on the Eames chair, and the Eames chair reeked of iodine. And then at one point she kicks him out of the bedroom. Like, this is before he becomes anything useful. Kicks him out of the bedroom because he can't sleep, because he got a whiff. He got a whiff from a hot chick with big boobs who got him angry, and he's like, oh, fuck, that was freedom. I could choose that. So she kicks him out, and he has to sleep under the Eames chair under the laundry. And he falls asleep to the scent of iodine. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's art. That's goddamn music. I've heard enough about women's rights. It's time to discuss women's wrongs. I was thinking more about women's lefts. No. What's this one? I hooked up with one of my professors in university. Then she tried to get me to micromanage her life for her. An 18-year-old me did not know how to captain for some 30-year-old with an anxiety disorder. I can't believe that university professors are full of anxiety. Great way of learning that professors were just silly women under the mask, though. Yeah. What can you do? And this funny thing is, guys aren't any better. I mean, we're different. We're different worse, but we're still worse. It's just because we don't sleep with guys. We don't have to put up with that bullshit. So I kind of feel for chicks that way. But at the same time, it's like, it sounds like a you problem. If only you had the entirety of human society geared towards helping you out at every opportunity for every failure of man. Every male property is illegal. Any type of male conflict resolution is illegal. Just think about that. Back in the day, if a dude was getting mad at you, you'd punch each other out and then you'd be okay with it. You go do that with your wife to solve a problem, you're going to jail, buddy. You're going to jail. And I'm not against that. I'm not saying we need to be able to beat your wife again. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it is. But yeah, one of our big problems is just we refuse to accept reality because it sucks. But it only sucks because we believe, and we don't even know we believe in it, that blank slate equalism crap, right? Like, oh, we're both the same, we're both special, just got to believe in yourself, which is always funny how equality always means be more feminine. I don't know how to explain it. It's probably because communists are bitches, but... Dude, yeah, I'm going to have to start blasting lightning here. This sun is just killing it. Fair. I sincerely hope your books are not like Blaine Lee Pardo's in that they become blasphemous prophecy in tomorrow's headlines. Your imagination terrifies me. Oh dear God, John. I'm so sorry you had to find out this way. Yeah, that happened. Like 3 things from the first book already came true while I would, like, after I finished writing it right around the release time. I was so annoyed. The part where Google used AI because the idea was Amazon had taken over a hostile takeover of Google, killed and arrested most of the employees to save them a couple bucks on the severance packages. The small commando team was actually former Google devs, and they're the ones that kind of help Jake out in the middle part there. But they were talking about how it happened, and it was like, yeah, Google used to be the top of the world, and then we started, and they threw advertisements into everything. And then a bunch of Indians were hired to do it, and then they did it even more, to the point that it became useless. And then the stock was about to drop, and then they were worried about a hostile takeover. And so they created artificial intelligence in order to sift through all the ad slop to actually still provide Google search. And then the Indian government snuck a couple spies in there as like as an espionage thing at the behest of Amazon to poison the AI training model with more AI with like advertising slop. And then when that happened, Google's stock did a 20% drop. Amazon was prepared and struck the next day and took out the company and took it over. And that's why Amazon is like the biggest company in there. Anyway, so AI is literally doing that, which kind of sucks. What was the other two? I'd have to fuck, it's been a while since I've read it. What are the other ones that came true? Damn it, I have to go read it again. But there was two other things that actually did come true. But in fairness, it's not because I'm smart or anything. I just took what we have now and I add 20% to it. And then it sounds like horrific dystopian fiction. Which tells me that, like, it's not that I have to get everything right. It's just that anything that's continuing on the same path it is will eventually get to there. I just didn't expect it to happen so fast. Oh, the Ukraine war being bullshit. That was fun. That was fun. And to be fair, the COVID stuff, that was mostly like retroactive. Like it was already the case of that fake virus and shit like that. So with the sequel, I'm hoping most of it doesn't come true. A lot of it's more like retroactive satire of stuff that's already happened anyway. Oh, we're hitting all of the weird stuff too, man. All the stuff that people don't want to write about. We're back to the topic in a sec. I just love this. So Nick and I usually have strategy sessions before when I first do the first draft of the book. And he's like, yeah, this part works, this part doesn't. Are you trying to, like, he basically shows how an outside person views the book, where he thinks it's strong, where he thinks it's not. And I can compare that to what I'm trying to do to see, you know, which direction to go in. It's absolutely a fascinating, valuable experience. And I would suggest if you have an editor, do it. And so I hit some topics in there that, like, you can see conservative media just shitting on all the time. They don't like it. They hate it this, they hate it that. Like, oh, the liberal progressives of this. And I write it in a way that they would enjoy it. And at the same time, the progressive side would see a bunch of stuff that I'm writing. And it's like the stuff that they want to see, but they would absolutely hate it. And he's like, it's just amazing how you're able to, you're like willing to piss off everybody on this one. But he does, but doing it in a quality, like it's not just edgelord for the sake of edgelord. It's actually well written. And I'm like, oh yeah, dude, this is so much fun. And I got my inspiration from that from The Last Psychiatrist. I don't know if you guys have read his book. It's called Sadly Porn. And it's kind of like a long train of thought version of his blog. It's pretty good. And I'm reading it, and it's almost like a musical instrument you just kind of hear doing a solo through the whole thing. And then I'm halfway through chapter 2, and I realize he's got me reading cuck porn about a guy and his, like an episode of White Lotus, basically. And I didn't notice it till all of a sudden I started getting really angry. I'm like, wait a minute. And then I stopped. I'm like, motherfucker. And I was like, God damn, that's good. He got me interested in something that I would never want to read if he'd have told me. And not only interested in reading it, got me viscerally angry over reading it. And I was like, and that's what was the point. So I was like, damn it. It's like watching a horror movie and getting scared. Oh, that's refreshing. Fucking Marty. Every time I deal with Amazon, I have to talk to useless Indians. They have zero empathy for Whitey. I think they just hope I die. Yeah. To be fair, Marty, that's not wrong. There was a Canadian sing rapper, and I was like, what the fuck is this? It came up from random rabbit hole. Somebody had a stupid tweet about an Indian trucker eating heroin. And then I started clicking links, going through the people, and then one of the guys has a thing, and then his thing has a music studio. And there's a Vancouver rapper, and I can't remember his name. It's like Durka Durka Singh or something. And you listen to the lyrics. Like, you know when you listen to black rap, it's always like what they want to do. It's like, yeah, fuck the cops. I'm going to shoot the cops, and I'm selling drugs. So it's basically like aspirational fiction. And he lists this one, and it was all about like white women bowing down to him. It was all about the hot blondes, and I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Talking about Vancouver. I was like, yo, VO. Yeah. So when you listen to like the ghetto rap version of like that area, It's a lot of like fuck whitey. Which makes you wonder. So as much as you resonate with NWA, I can imagine the Pakistanis resonating with that shit. Oh, and okay, I promise we're getting back. Last one. I'm waiting for the MG Anthology Part 2 before I get Softbone, and I was thinking of Fuck Files. Now, I think that you said Fuck Files was like Neil Strauss, the game, right? Yeah, well, okay. So I don't know when the Anthology Part 2 is coming out. It's coming out soon. I got a section in there, The First Families of Cydonia. It's going to be pretty fun. But I always liked Vince's stuff. Like, I got book 1. Well, a sec, I got to move my dog walker coffee mugs. There she is. Yeah, copy 1 right there. It's good. It's fun. And I can tell for a lot of the guys, like Nobles, it's kind of like he has a whole book, and this is kind of like a short story within that whole story, which is pretty interesting. Second one, as far as I know, is coming out like almost now. But yeah, go for it. I mean, there's totally different reads. That's the thing too, right? If you read my books, if you read The Dog Walker, I don't even know if you would know it's the same author if you didn't know between The Dog Walker and Softbone and the First Families of Cydonia. I'm really big on trying things that I haven't done and learning more. So yeah, and so Fuck Files, it's kind of like auto fiction. When I first wrote it back in 2020, the idea was everybody's first book is always auto fiction, which is like an autobiography sort of, but it's like a little extended fiction. Sometimes thematically, you got to move things around. But for the most part, everything in there is honest. There's nothing in there that's dishonest. You can usually tell because not everything in there makes me sound awesome. There's some things that make me sound very, very not awesome. But I didn't want just a book of, hey, this is me, here I am, love me. Because I'm like, that's kind of shitty anyway. And that's what I didn't like about the game, was that it wasn't a book about the game and it wasn't a book about mystery. It was an expose. It was a long-winded article about the pickup community, which, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. So I took that and I'm like, yeah, that's what I like and that's what I don't like. And then there was Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. And I liked the idea of a book that's useful, that you can take some lessons from. I didn't like the idea how it was so abstract. Like, let kids play in the park. You know, and I read it and I was like, what the fuck is this? It's just pablum. It's merch. And I'm like, I liked the idea, but I don't like the execution. And then there was other books like Bukowski's Women. And I liked that. It was kind of like raw, unfiltered, degenerate. It wasn't good man. It wasn't bad man. It was just like, this is man, warts and all. But what I didn't like about it was a little bit too much like, hey, I'm a piece of shit. And I'm like, well, most guys aren't pieces of shit, so I don't get that either. So I took the idea of all 3 of those books and the 3 things I didn't like about them, and then I put them together in Fuck Files. So if that helps. It's been so long, I haven't looked at it in years, so I couldn't tell you much about it other than the stories because it's stuff I remember, but yeah. Right now we live in the golden era of AI, some incestuousness, but not absolutely crazy. As time goes by, LLMs will become exponentially better, but their data will become more and more incestuous. I think we missed the golden age by a year. And hear me out, because like my favorite image generation AI for the longest time was Bing AI, like the 6-finger shit, and it just had the right amount of jank to it that it offered its own type of style, and I liked it when it was just shitty enough where it was like on the cusp of the uncanny valley. Now they're making it even better, and I'm like, it's losing something. Now it's just becoming an tool, and I really hope, I don't know if it's even possible, I don't know if they do, if anybody saved the training data from like Gen 2, Bing AI, or Midjourney, or all of those ones, because they all kind of had their own levels of jank. I've used a lot of it for the thumbnails here too, and everybody's like, don't use your AI for stuff. I'm like, nah, dude, this is like surrealism on steroids. I fucking love it. As far as the writing, I really don't think it's ever going to do well. And it's so funny. Watching guys, you can just automatically tell when somebody's writing AI because it sounds just like a fucking news article. Because I get it was trained a lot off of that. But it's full of filler. You know that whole it's not X, it's Y? Those are always nonsensical statements. Yeah, there's the M dashes too, but if somebody's reading it off a script, you usually can't tell. But you can tell most of the time, like it's trying its damnedest to use a metaphor or a simile or anything like that. And the problem is, it's just, I'm going to put a sentence together that's grammatically correct, but structurally nonsensical. It's that whole Noam Chomsky, green leaves sleeping furiously thing. You know that one where he's like a sentence that's grammatically correct, but has no information on it? And that's what I find with AI, is it's always lacking the information. And I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's ever going to work. Because, like, you can't do symbology with AI, ever. I can't make metaphorical references with AI, because it doesn't know what things are to be able to use a metaphor for them. It won't understand pop culture. I'm going to beat him like it's Britney Spears with an umbrella. Like, you automatically understand what that means if you're millennial aged. AI would never think, hey, this, what, you know what this needs right now? A Britney Spears reference from 2009. It's never going to know that. So the best it can do is like sports stats, news articles, things that are happening. So they take this information, put it together. It's going to be competent, but it's oatmeal. It's gruel. It can become exponentially better. I will say this, though. My wife loves them for work emails. She wants to send an email to GCO. She wants to send an email to the C-suite. She wants to send an email to a vendor. She's just like, hey, put an email together that gets this stuff in here to there. And it drafts up the perfect fucking corporate email, which just lets you know how shitty it is. And I would not be surprised if we have another layer of complexity in the workplace soon enough, if we stop hiring Indians and displacing the white populations, which it's Canada, we won't. Where it'll be like, AI, write me an email that says this. And then it'll say that. And then the other person on the other side say, AI, read me this email and give me the points. And you realize we made this entire ecosystem just because somebody doesn't want to pick up a phone and say, hey, could you get me this? Yes, sounds good, bud. And then hangs up. That's it. Billions of dollars, trillions in infrastructure, 500 data centers, 1 million gallons of water, all because I don't want to call that vendor. It's awkward. It's too early. I haven't had my coffee yet. Could somebody explain Abigail's hamburger? What the hell is that? I don't even know what that one is. I'm assuming that's a vagina reference. Anyway, so back to the topic. Yeah, if you give... so there, Softbone, great. Fuck Files, it's good. It's my early work, so, take it with a grain of salt. And Softbone 2, oh, dude. I talked to the guy. He says he should have the finished pieces Saturday or Sunday. So I'm hoping to have them tomorrow. And then I have to put the book together, and then all the prints go through. I'll keep you updated on the Kickstarter for that. And then the new book, you're going to love it. I've already got a starting premise. It's the idea of a couple... like a casually dating couple go to a bondage party and then end up having a fight in a hotel and passing out drunk after some like really shitty first aid before they get to smash in the very first chapter. That's the inciting premise. And the theme of it is going to be delayed adolescence. You know, the Rollo article, Are You Experienced, which I just referenced today on Twitter. So let me pull that one up. One sec. There she is. Yeah, this one. And it's the idea of men are deciding they don't need to grow up as fast. And so they value their own experiences over collection of goods, which sucks because women have been doing the same thing and they always do the same thing. You know, the MRS degree, the MRS job, the waiting for a husband job, that kind of stuff. And now they're getting like big boy jobs like doctor, turn around at 30 years old and it's like, hey, all I need to finish this puzzle is a man that fits my perfect desires of whatever, and he's off doing his own thing. So it's delayed adolescence for the guys because, why would I wait 10 years as a celibate to come hook up with you once you're 30 with a great career and want me as a secondary aspect to your life? I deserve better than that. Or if I don't, at least I'm going to go have fun while I'm not. It was like the original idea of MGTOW. And so I thought, I like the idea of two people, a man and a woman, both with delayed adolescence, almost coming of age in a contemporary romance novel, but it's not romance. You know what I mean? It's not, 50 Shades of Grey or any of that shit. It's what a guy would be thinking of when you think of romance. Oh my God, you drove down to Mexico? You drank homemade tequila? What the fuck? Like those kind of stories. Closer to Girls Gone Wild than 50 Shades of Grey. But it'd be a lot of fun. All right, let me get back down to chat. Jesus Christ, Marty. Writing styles very similar to David Cope. Make of that what you will. I have no idea who David Cope is. Jesus Christ. Biochemistry. That can't be right. All right, well, whoever is, I assume this is not a dig and it was like a compliment, so thank you very much. No idea. To be fair with the writing style, all I try to do is just ignore peripheral vision. Does that make sense? Let you use your imagination. Turn it from a cold medium or from a hot medium to a cold medium. And this is something I wish more books would do because I thought I had, when it came to like reading or writing, and I thought I had ADHD. And it turns out I don't. It's just that every book tries to take away the experience of me using my imagination while I'm reading it. And so it fills in all the blanks for me, and then I just get bored because there's nothing for me to do other than let the person treat their book like a television screen that just injects it into my brain. And even then, I don't like movies that do that either. I like ones that give me little things, little mysteries to find out. Like even RoboCop, in all of its mess, there's so much stuff you can still find in a new view. Because I'm like, you guys are smart. If I don't explain, for example, like with Softbone, if I don't explain what Jake Long's hair color is, you're going to have a hair color in your head. You're going to know. You can picture the apple. I know what color it is. For you, Jake Long, obviously black-haired. For you, it's obviously blonde. You might even inject yourself into that. I'm a brunette. I'm going to make Jake Long a brunette. Good. Who am I to tell you what way he looks? What's he wearing? I don't know. What do you want him to wear? What do you think people wear in a cyberpunk future? Oh, I know exactly what he wears. There's only one example I think where I even do that in the new one, where I have him wear a gingham cotton Oxford button-down with khakis. And that's because he has to sneak into the temple, which is like an Amazon corporate acropolis, and he has to look like an employee. So there's like a thematic reason that he's dressed like a fucking nerd, and I just find it hilarious. He's got a goofy eye patch, he's got his revolver, and he's dressed like a computer programmer walking in there. I don't know, it's like Snake Plissken dressed as a nerd. The game showed how pathetic and dysfunctional the guys were. Well, I don't know if pathetic would be the right choice of words. Like they were, like Mystery was a depressed, sad, sensitive man, and he was trying to find his own way. And this pickup stuff was something he latched onto that he thought would get there, and it turned out it didn't. The part that I took from it is that Neil was kind of projecting his insecurities because Mystery, if you guys don't forget, he eventually started a family, had a girl, had a kid. I think they're divorced now, but I can't be sure. So he kind of went through his life just the same as any normal guy does. Oh, I got married, I got divorced, I have a kid. Neil Strauss, on the other hand, who was above it all and better than all this, and he was put together where everybody was not. Have you seen his fucking life? With his weird Paula cute and the one like real butch, tuned out chick and the other chick, it's like, I don't know, man. If I had to pick between Mystery's depressive elements and Neil Strauss's above it all, I would have gone with Mystery's. Thought Ryan was the Mexican. What, did we sail together? Only the other sailors call me a Mexican, sir. Can we just get training data from 4chan pre-Gamergate? I would love to see that image AI gen. Dude, I had to know for myself what 4chan is doing with AI. It's doing exactly what you think it is, by the way. What's 4chan doing with AI? It's doing exactly what you think. Like, you know that celebrity? Which one? That one. Yeah, they're making nudes of her. That's it. They're making nudes of all the chicks you saw on TV. And the only thing that's made me feel old is like, who the fuck are they talking about? It's all these people. I'm like, who are any of these people? What are they on? How should I even know them? They're like, oh, it's the greatest person. Yeah, they slurp up the internet and then make the core of the product that is a result of other people's work unavailable. Which sucks because, like, there's a utility for this from AI. Everything is behind a paywall now. And so everything is behind a paywall. Everything is getting link degradation. there's real benefit into taking all of that work and like synthesizing it again to get past the firewalls, get past this, so you're actually able to see things that are disappearing. Unfortunately, it's like chemotherapy. It's gonna kill you if you go too hard. Oh shit, look at this. My grandpa, 97 years old, started back reading novels again. He got 48 Laws of Power. I told him I have a couple books I've read, The Dog Walker and Softbone, and he's going to read both. Oh, I don't know if he's going to like Dog... Actually, maybe he'll like Dog Walker. That's the thing I found with old people. They don't tend to like sci-fi as much. At least when they do, they mostly read that Isaac Asimov stuff where it's mostly just like... It's almost like a scientific paper with a story. Yeah, synergy, circle back, low-hanging fruit, leverage, touch base. There was a great thing on Ribbon Farm about that, about the entire, like, the corporate world has built up its own jargon and language. And the whole reason it does this is plausible deniability. Because you can't speak directly and say what you mean and mean what you say in the corporate world, because then it holds you to a standard. And then if you're wrong, everybody's worried about losing their jobs. It's like a huge sexual fear of rejection in the corporate world. Well, if I say this project's the greatest and it's not the greatest, then I'm going to get fired, so I'm going to have to say touch base. So that way it can be taken either way. Well, I didn't say that. I said touch base. So it's everybody here is just like extremely risk averse. And then corporate wise, they're making a big case that you need to be risk averse. If you minimize the downside, you're going to be more sustainable and people keep their jobs, which may be true. I'm more of a fan of creative destruction. I will give the tech sector credit on the build it fast, break it early. Because it's like, yeah, you're allowed to make mistakes. Everybody kind of accepts it anyway. What's it like? 80% of business projects fail in the first year. So like, why are you guys so worried about this? If everything fails all the time, it's okay to be part of that failure as long as you get something out of it. Yeah, I laugh at Zoomers. They come into my store and can't look or talk. They're going to have a panic attack. Worry about that, man. I worry about that. The under-socialization scares the shit out of me. Because what's going to happen when they get into positions of power? Okay, the writer, not the chemist. Okay. It's good to know there's two of them. Wolfram Kep? Extravagant inventions, the princely furniture of Rhodogens. I don't know if that's the right guy. Oh, Journey is a screenwriter. Okay, this one makes more sense. From Jurassic Park. So he's the guy that did the screenplay for Jurassic Park. Fair. I get it. Yeah, so he looks like Snake Plissken you, which is great. Which is funny, because to me, I don't even want to say what he looks like to me, but to me, I picture... You know what I'm not going to say, but I don't picture Snake Plissken. I don't. The eye patch actually has nothing to do with any of the eye patches you've seen in movies. Technically, the inspiration was in 1950s and 60s films. It was post-World War II. A lot of the old black and whites and the film noirs and that. And it's funny because a lot of people lost their eye in the war and they became actors. And so what happens is a lot of actors would get eye patches or had eye patches or replicated that for World War II films. And so there was always like the salt and pepper haired dude with the eye patch. And it was always just seen as like, oh, he's been to war. It was a symbol for that. And I just like the aesthetic, but I'm like, I'm not going to just take that for the sake of it. I want there to be a reason for it. And then, yeah, in this one where, because he tries to go back and rescue his family from the COVID vaccine and his wife turns him in, gets him arrested, they spend all the money that they were going to spend on the trip to Ukraine on getting him out, busting him out of jail. And so he needs to be able to afford the trip on the boat. So they have to sell one of his eyes. And then the problem is because it's like the Ukrainian doctors are so shitty, it's like a permanent damage. They can't get another ocular in there. I just like it as an extreme reminder of him losing a part of himself by trying to like hold on to that woman that didn't care for him. The idea of like the blue pill lies. And then when he meets the other character who also has an eye patch, but on the other eye, it's the idea of like Ghost of Christmas Future. Plus, when they get a new set of oculars, they both like can put those in, and they each wear the one. And it just worked for me. But that's funny. Wait, doesn't Jake Long look back? So yeah, as long as you got something in your head, I can't kill. All the girls are mid. Women in the 80s were smoke shows. I did have a thing about that too, where in the 90s they killed the idea of like resting bitch face baddies with giant tits. And I was like, it was such like a hot thing. And it's just gone now. Very sad. Kaliolisa 3671 with a $10 super chat. Jesus Christ, do I have to read this? AA Sailor or My Sailor, you sure done something to me, so... All right, no offense, man, but, like, thank you for the super chat. You guys can read that on your own. Jesus Christ. Thank you, I think. I don't know what to make with that, but... All right, let's get caught up here. So yeah, the why I'm angry. You know what? Let's do a quick transition.
I love the way girls smell. I love how they always make sure, by and large, they shower, and they just have an amazing smell to them in general.
There we go. See, about the anger thing. Like, why am I angry? And I found this field report. It was like 8 years old. I didn't find it on Frame. I didn't find it for Fuck Files. I didn't find it in Dread. I didn't find it in Field Reports, and I didn't find it in even The Best of Men. None of the praxeologies. I was like, what the hell? And then I start reading through. I'm like, oh my God, I get it. Because it's always me reading through, and it's like, I kind of read Field Reports for like hours. And I'm like looking for something to catch me, to grab me, that resonates with a very like good case of one of the mental models we use here. And it's mostly me just searching for this kind of stuff. And that's where the Substack is. But, and I had to clean it up because it was just fucking brutal to read. So I had to like edit it heavily so it reads better. But just keep in mind, like none of the details have been changed and faces have been protected for, the Dragnet speech. Like I almost screamed in the therapist office last week over a joke. A mild throwaway joke about me tracking how often my wife and I have sex. I stormed out, sat in the car, hyperventilated, and my wife had to come out to get me. Pausing here. Emoji-free super chat to bleach that previous one out of my brain. GhostCat2465 with the $5.01 super chat. Thank you very much. Oh my God. You're the best ghost and the best cat out of the 2,465 of them that are out there. Thank God. I like this one. Oh, wait, where'd it go? Yeah. Hey, Jack, how's Europe doing? Don't know, don't care. Oh, here we go. Okay. I wanted the cuck article, but YouTube wouldn't let me spell it on the YouTube, so it was a hate compliment from Bakara. Gotcha. All right, here, I got you, buddy. Well done, by the way. You had me freak the fuck out. Where's the stupid cuck article?
So the memes, they're very good. This is really, they've taken it.
True Alpha
named Ryan Stone.
It says, ask Murphy about the article he wrote, cuckolding his wife. Clear up the cuck article. Clear up the cuck article.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
If I wasn't prepared to literally impoverish his entire bloodline,
I am now concerned for my career.
And I still recommend clear up the cuck article.
You know what? Fuck you for bringing this up. Yeah. Fuck you. Heartfelt.
I'm not going to have those guys back on my channel again. Absolutely not.
Just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
It is just...
That's great. That's you should.
Fuck you.
Sorry, apologies.
Just keep going, dude. One foot in front of the other. Before you know it, this will all be in the rearview mirror. Fuck you.
Thank you for the super chat, good sir. So that was kind of the story of the guy. So Billy was seeing a group therapist, him and his wife, which, whatever. It's not my decision to make, but he went in there, and the one thing he was doing, he was Spreadsheet Man. Remember Spreadsheet Man? There was two guys in the Red Pill that everybody talks about and everybody remembers. There was Spreadsheet Man and Skittles Man. Skittles Man was the guy that the girl wouldn't stop bitching about. He doesn't treat me right this. He doesn't do right this. The only thing he's ever given me for my birthday is one day he bought me a bag of Skittles. I don't even like Skittles. And it was just, and Royce brought it up as an article to show, like, look at this girl. She's infatuated with this guy. He doesn't do shit for her. The one thing he did for her, she didn't even like, and she appreciated the gesture. And it kind of ties into his thing about caring assholes versus uncaring assholes. He's an uncaring asshole. Meanwhile, contraposed with Spreadsheet Man, he's the one whose wife wasn't sleeping with him, and he was so frustrated on it that one day he made a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet, every time he tried to fuck his wife, and every one of his excuses, or the excuses that she wrote down. And some of them, look, man, some of them, I'm not going to lie to you, they're pretty fucking bad. Like her favorite, or one of her favorite episodes of Friends was on, and it was a rerun. And that was one of the reasons she shot him down. It's that episode where Joey goes vegan. It's like, what the fuck? Thanks, man. I'll take that under consideration. Jesus. Oh, wait. No, I thought I had the photo of the other thing. Anyways, yeah, so that. And one day, after he got extremely frustrated, she went off on a business trip, and he emailed her the list. He's like, there. And of course, being a woman, how can I embarrass my man with this shit? She took that shit to Reddit. She uploaded the spreadsheet. She's like, what the fuck is this? And then, of course, it's Redditors. So they're like, your man's an asshole. He's insupportive. He's misogynist. And then if you read down the thing, and it's long gone now, but I remember there was this one lone comment you had to search by, like, controversial, and you saw it there, and the guy was like a refreshing voice of reason. It's like, do you think, like, this does not look to me like a guy who emailed this to yell at you or to demean you. This looks like an act of pure desperation. This looks like a guy who's kept score in your relationship for years. You haven't been putting up any points, and finally he was out of ideas. He tried everything, and this was his last-ditch effort. Here's how much of a frigid bitch wife you've been for the last years. Anyway, so and the point is, Spreadsheet Man has always been a bit of a laugh. Like, don't be this guy. It's a great example on never be like this. There's many solutions. The whole idea of dread was built around what the solutions are, but never be that guy. So anyways, this guy was like, yeah, I was actually doing that. His wasn't as detailed. It was mostly just tracking how often they have sex. Because there's a couple things that guys will track in the red pill, and I'm not going to say don't do it. Sometimes there's good reasons, sometimes there isn't. It really, with everything, it depends. It's tracking wife cycles and tracking how often they have sex, which is fine. If you're just seeing, 3 times last week, 4 times this week, 2 times last week, 1 time every 2 weeks, something like that, a lot of times guys need that. They need data because a couple things. One, a girl's estrus cycle changes how sexually available she is. And so for a lot of guys, they need to see this. It's like, dude, I've been having sex every day except for the 4th week of the month. Or they'll notice that when the girl's just coming off her period is when she's horniest, or just before her period she's coming off its horniest. And it's never the same for everybody. I'm not going to sit here and tell you why one week versus another one's important. Some girls are even at the point where during Shark Week is when they get the horniest. Is what it is. But for a guy, a lot of it's good to know, because once they realize that their sex life is, I don't want to say out of their hands, but there is a lot of factors that they have no control over. It takes the sting of rejection off. You know? When you realize, oh yeah, dude, this always works during ovulation week. This never works during, Aunt Flo. How bad do you take a rejection? Oh, it's Aunt Flo's tomorrow. Fair. See what I mean? Oh yeah, I remember that. I was as sad as the man who only gets a hand job from a wife with his gun. Yeah, take care. It's good to see you again, John. Yeah, and I always track cycles because I don't like red tide sex. Changing your behavior a little to appeal to luteal versus ovulating is handy as well. See what I mean? There's advantages to it. And then after a while, you don't need to do it anymore. So there's reasons to do it. Same thing as tracking the sex life. If you just want to know, am I getting more sex or less sex? You might have to track it, and that's fine. Don't be autistic about it. That's the real thing. And don't ever email it. This is our sex sheet. You missed 3 days this month. We're gonna have to up these. You have to up these numbers before the quarterly reports come in. It's don't do that. So in this case, I don't know if he never did quote it. Yeah. So he was at the therapist office, and I think it was the idea that the therapist was supposed to be neutral, take both their sides, not be judgmental. And she cracked a joke at him. Oh, tracking your wife's period or tracking your wife's sex life, huh? Fucking nerd. And then he got like viscerally angry. He got angry. His fucking body started sweating. He got mad. He just stormed out. It's like, I'm fucking out of here. Went to his car, started freaking the fuck out. Full fight or flight. And it's easy to sit here and laugh at the guy. But there's something to learn in that. There is something absolutely to learn in that. Fight or flight. Making a joke on that. Usually when jokes land like that, it's because it's something you're insecure about. So obviously this guy's got an issue surrounding an insufficient sex life, right? Most of the guys that come to the red pill, that's one of the primary reasons they come here. It's like, want more sex, not getting enough. What the hell? And he did the standard covert contract, the 2-year singing and dancing monkey improvement program. His wasn't nearly 2 years, though, where you look at what you want to look at in the red pill. You look at all the self-help stuff. You look at lifting weights and dressing up and shaving your beard and wearing good lotions and having nice shoes and are like all these external things. Nothing about actually changing. It's just putting a coat of paint on it. If I put a coat of paint on this, my wife will fuck like a champ. And so he was doing a lot of the superficial stuff, and he was doing well. And that's the thing. If it was a case where like none of it mattered, it would be very easy to move on from it. The problem is it does matter. Not 100% matter, but it's not zero. So you'll do all the self-improvement stuff. You'll look better. You'll smell nicer. You'll look good. You'll dress well and all that shit. And yeah, you will get some more from it. But of course, in the same way that the Cialis doesn't work on chicks, the most erogenous zone in their body is their brain. You have to appeal to the emotional side of things. And a lot of what appeals to the emotional side of things is a guy being somewhat unattainable. It was a great line, and I do not remember who in this place said it, but it was something like, the happiest marriages have a husband with one foot out the door. And I really wish, I almost want to say like Esther Villar, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't her because that sounds nice. Oh, wait, I remember who it was. God damn it. What the fuck was her name? Oh. I forgot what her fucking name was. It was a chick that was sort of red pilled adjacent. She was autistic. She was from New York. And she used to, like, she was all part of, like, swinger parties, sex parties, like, that crazy shit, right? And then she had hit her 30s. And she wanted to settle down and have a man. But with the autism and the sexual past, it was very difficult for her. And she used to write articles for, I can't remember which, like The Atlantic or something like that. But then she had put an article out about, so I slept with a right-winged man, like a Trump supporter or something like that. And it was like her story about how the conservative men were actually better men for her sexually than liberal men. And they put her thing in there, and then she said something they didn't like, and they banned her from shit, and that's why she kind of became red pill adjacent. No, not Kitten Holiday. This one was actually useful. I can't remember. It doesn't matter anyway. She's long gone. Actually, I suppose I could just look up that article. News article with a Trump supporter. Accidentally? Fucking hell. All right, so there's a lot of articles now where they, yeah, I also slept with one. All right. Son of a bitch. I'm not going to make a big search for this. Oh my God. The first thing that pops up, I accidentally slept with a Donald Trump supporter in Toronto Life magazine from Diana, a bartender. Oh, I guess she moved from Toronto to San Diego. She looks like an Indian girl. All right, anyways, that's funny. That's not her though. Null 8641. Ryan, it's nice to see you. Dude, it's nice to see you too. Haven't seen you in a while, Null. It's been a while. I was worried about you. I didn't want you to die on me. And then €10 for the first book. Oh, dude, you can't buy it here. You got to buy it in the store. But thank you very much. Too funny. Yeah, it's nice to see you too, Null. It's always good to hear from you, man. You're one of the old G's. I think you're one of like the original people from the channel, so it's always good to see. Anyways, so back to the anger guy. And yeah, he was just viscerally angry about this stuff. His wife had to go out and coddle him. Obviously didn't work out well. If your wife has to like assure you that you're a real man while still not fucking you enough, it's not a good play. It doesn't end well, you know? And then his whole field report is him just like, why am I so angry about this? Because it's, at the time, we all knew, it's like the whole point of these field reports is to process what's going on so you can make better decisions, form an OODA loop. We didn't use any of these words at the time, but that's essentially what was happening. So for him, it was just a joke. It was just a joke about tracking your wife's sex life. Why was he visceral about it? And then he realized it's like, oh, okay. Like, partially it's expectations. Like, I'm always going to want sex more than my wife. And he's like, okay, I have to accept that. That's fine. Also the fact that, you know, a lot of this is a covert contract. He kind of gets there. I actually like, so Bogey D6, he's the oil man, the oil executive. And I always liked him. We joined the same week. Him, me, Hunter Drew were like the three guys. I hear gay whispering. So Bogies was like, and I look back on the days when my wife would literally berate me for buying the wrong type of bread. That would have been a 3-day all-out frontal assault. Even though today I spank her for suggesting that she may have possibly made a mistake. I struggle with how to turn it into something somebody can use. You have a gift. Was a spanking the thing for us in the last 17 years? No. Our sex life was far from that. We didn't have a dead bedroom, but nothing spectacular. The sex god method, that's Daniel Rose, opened up a whole new frontier. While it's sometimes quite scary, she trusts me to guide us through it. I can tell a guy to caveman her. I can tell a guy to accept a blowjob. However, how can I make him obey on the internet? Yeah, a blowjob halftime is normal here. A blowjob and a beer when coming home from a trip is the default. When do we yet make a message that says, hey, fuck ass, own your life and do the things you want? Then, however, paradoxically, we suggest not to give interest to your wife or ideas. Yet, you know what? Some of us choose poorly, and we have to decide if we can live with that. Your wife will do A, B, and C, but not X, Y, and Z, and you probably can't fault a guy for that. Yet, you see all the guys here turning their wives into butt sluts with spreadsheets, coconut oil, and tracking their cycle. What is genuine? There is so much in that one I love. There's I think it's in Dread. I put at one point, there's a whole chapter on it. Like, what if your wife is a dud? And part of this anger really did spawn a whole bunch of stuff. Like, what if your wife is a dud? What if your lack of a sex life is because your wife is objectively just bad at it? And you're going to get the standard, you know, well, you should have married better, bro. It's like, oh, if only I could just look into the future. If only I could have just been a fully realized person before I got married. If only everything was perfect, nothing would go wrong. Thanks for the help, Redditor. You know? That's not going to happen. So we all make imperfect decisions. Catholics, Muslims, a lot of like the religious types have this issue too. And I've talked about it before. Mormons, I think even, where like your whole life, you're telling women that sex is bad and wrong and you go to hell for it. 20 years, 30 years of just fucking drilling that into her head. It builds a bit of a complex to treat sex the same way. It's like, remember the AIDS epidemic in the 80s? Anybody here old enough to be alive as an adult fucking in that age? They had everybody terrified of dying from sex. Ugh. People were freaking out. Didn't want to use toilet seats. Didn't want to kiss their girl. Didn't want their girl having gay friends. If she has a gay friend, she'll bring that AIDS back and put it on me. It was so prevalent that Eddie Murphy did a comedy special on the shit. And then it turns out it's like, no. What's one of the best defenses against? Like a circumcised guy has like a 90% chance of not catching it. The only way to get it is either sharing a needle and getting infected by a guy. So if you're not a crackhead or a heroin addict, a shitty heroin addict too, you'll be fine. And it was basically like extreme gay sex to the point where there was anal tearing. Those are the only two ways you were going to get it. Maybe a blood transfusion. But now they just don't accept gay blood anymore, so. But everybody was terrified. I'm going to get it. If I lick the wrong doorknob, if I pee on the wrong toilet, if I kiss the wrong girl that has the wrong friend in the fashion industry, I'm fucked. And it's this here. You're given all kinds of information that leads you to suboptimal decisions because people lie. Women lie. How many of you guys are married? How many of you guys have been in a long-term relationship? How many guys, when you first started dating your girl, had her out of the blue, couple drinks in, just chilling out at a bar? You know what? I think I'm a little bisexual. That line, every guy has heard that line. I think I'm a little bisexual. You know what that means? We are never having a threesome. But I want you to think about that when you think about me, because you'll like me more if you think that's a shot. A lot of guys got it. A lot of guys, on the other hand, have also had the threesomes with that. So, I mean, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of lies. The girl that tells you she's bisexual and the girl that actually is bisexual, fundamentally no difference in talking to them. You wouldn't know. Same thing as performance. Is this girl good in bed or is she bad in bed? Well, the one that talks about sex must be better in bed. It's like, no, not really. If anything, it's the opposite. But then again, like, oh, I know a girl that was good in bed. Yeah, it's almost like the girls that suck at things or aren't good at things or are lying about things are such good liars, they sound exactly like the person. How many good Christian wives out there basically beat their husbands when they get home and then come out and talk about how great everything is? Very good liars. You know what I mean? And so that was this one here. So, like, yeah, well, how do you tell a guy to do... And he's like, how do I tell a guy to just enjoy a blowjob? And that was his old Red Pill post on, can you just enjoy one? Which I find it great because it's a great example in guys who have, you know, put in the work and done things and aren't able to enjoy themselves. Like, they need to be in a constant state of having an enemy in front of them. An anger phase is the only reason they do anything. And Bogey brought out the point. It was after like a bunch of guys were basically talking themselves out of like blowjobs and sex and that. And you guys remember the Alpha is Wolf guy I talked about a couple years back? The one whose wife said, hey, I'll get you later. And then later came and she went to go get him, but his hands were cold. And so he turned it into like a fucking fight that she started accusing him of domestic violence. He's like, you red pill guys fucked up my marriage. It's like, dude, you turned a blowjob into like an accusation of domestic violence. What the fuck do you want from us? How much more of an L can you take? But anyways, the post was, can you just enjoy it? And he was like, yeah, just sit back, enjoy it. Don't worry about, oh, is she okay? Is she comfortable? Does she want this? Do I have to prepare? Like, all that shit in your head. It's like, nah, man, giving you something. Sit back, fucking relax. Let it happen. Better yet, enjoy yourself and be in the moment. And it was crazy because, like, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's joking. It's funny in that. But a lot of guys were just, and you'll never get people to admit this in real life. It's embarrassing. Of course it is. That's why you need to be absolutely anonymous on a fucking subreddit 10 years ago to get some honesty out of this stuff. But yeah, a lot of guys just, I had my mind going a mile a minute thinking about all this stuff and pleasing and pleasing and pleasing. It's like, yeah, it's the selfless act, the selfish sexual act. Anal and blowjobs. And if you're getting them, it's because the girl likes you and wants to keep you in a selfless way, which is rare, which is why you need to sit back and fucking enjoy it. But a lot of guys, they've worked so hard to get themselves in the plot where they can be the guy to enjoy it. They forget at some point, oh, maybe it's time to enjoy it. I've been earning money my whole life. Never once thought to take a vacation with all the millions that I've earned. I've been sitting at home miserly. It's like, yeah, well, go out and enjoy yourself, man. You'll be just fine. No, have fun. I'm going to bed. Good night, good sir. Sleep tight. Don't let the Russian drones bite. I assume he's in Europe. I don't know. Wait, going to bed? It's like fucking 10 in the morning, dude. You must be in China. As long as the blowjob is teeth-free. Fair enough. Some girls... Do you want to focus on the point being made, or do you want to fiddle around with like small details? This one, did Digital Ryan get shut down? No, it didn't get shut down. I've been extremely busy lately, and so between like the books actually take a lot of time and effort, and so I think it was like last October, November, I had to dial back some things. So the Orion channel and the Digital Ryan channel, I just haven't made videos for a while. They're not dead. I'll probably get back to doing them as time clears up. But it's what I've always done. I start a whole bunch of new projects, and then I give them a year, and then the ones that do well, I keep them going, and then the ones that don't, I claw them back. it just got to an extra busy time where I had to claw back more than I wanted to. So Digital Ryan and Orion, they are coming back. They will come back. So it'll be good. Dude's the vampire. I wonder if age 30 is too late to start having sex, like you missed your chance, man. See, like, what do you want me to say to that? What kind of hypothetical do you want? Is there a guy who's actually 30 and never had sex? How many of those guys exist? Not a lot. I mean, maybe there's more now. But it's like, what are you going to tell them? There's 10 years of development that they just haven't had. Can you catch up? Probably. A lot of us were late bloomers. Kids were having sex at 16. A lot of us had to wait till like our 20s and then, or at the very least like 18, 19. They learned pickup. They caught up for lost time. Women, on the other hand, have been sleeping with guys since they were like 14, and they've got a lot of experience to it, so you can catch up. Carl even mentioned this back in the day. As a kid, yeah, you'd learn, but the process was slow because there wasn't a lot of examples. But as an adult, examples are everywhere. If you want to go out and get laid, you can lay 100 girls a year if you wanted to. If you're really devoted to the cause, I would say set yourself to like 12 to 20 is a more reasonable example if you have a life outside of sleeping. It's pretty hard to have a job and a fitness regimen and then still be going out to the clubs every weekend. Once a month seems like one new girl every month does seem like something more reasonable. It's not one session, just one girl. So yeah, could they? Yeah, sure. But why? What am I gonna speculate about that for? I have nothing in common with a guy who spent 10 years of his adult life not having adult experiences. And that's the thing too. I don't know if maybe that's you, Bennett, or Bendy. Maybe it is you. And if it is you, I don't know. The way people learn things is by doing things. So yeah, is it too late to start having sex? I wouldn't say it's not too late. Because is it too late to start eating? I haven't eaten before and I'm starving. It's like, maybe get started. And just be prepared. Your first experience is going to suck. I know everybody's first experience. Nobody was good on the first try. There was always something that went wrong or something awkward. You didn't know what was normal, what was not normal. So the first couple ones are going to be kind of L's. Don't pick girls you actually like because you're just going to fuck it up. But I mean, with practice, you get better at it. Whatever. If you're lucky, you catch one of those school teacher types that's like, here, let me take care of everything. Young 13-year-old student in my class. You're like, Jesus Christ, Mrs. Hoover. Yeah, this whole thing. So what is genuine out of all this? And it's like, it hits the point. I mean, wax nostalgic because at the time it meant something personal to us. A lot of everybody's field reports, they were like even my old ones, your old ones, everybody's old ones. At the time, it was like the most important event in your life, getting zeroed out, whether by the military or by women or the wife or sex or whatever. And at the first ones, it's like the most amazing, heartfelt, end of the world. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm at my wit's end. And of course you are. You're on the internet talking to internet strangers about your most private, personal, and embarrassing details. Do you think people get there as a first attempt? Or do you think that's like the last ditch effort? Of course it's the last ditch effort. Of course it is. And no shame on it. It's the perfectly designed place, perfectly anonymous, a bunch of guys, singular focus, collective mission. It just sucks that it has to be this one place when there's like hundreds of other places that were designed for this in the past, and they've all since gone to the feminine imperative. So whatever. Well, same even to this one too, like Sluggo, when you're talking about hitting a target number is about impressing other guys, you got more work to do. He's absolutely right. I had a number. Everybody had numbers. Oh, I want to get this number. I want to get that number. I want to get +1. I remember for me, like my goofy shit was my one buddy was better at sleeping with girls than me. He'd always sleep with more. But for me, I had to invent some like convoluted way that made me better than him. Yeah, but I remembered every girl. I used to have a list. Every girl's name. Her, and I remember the experience. For me, that was important. And it's the same thing as hitting that target number. For me, I have to remember every single one because I'm not a man whore that just forgets. And until I met the one girl that I already slept with and I totally forgot about her. I'm like, who the fuck are you? And then I was like, and that realized that got me to a thing with like, they have more work to do. In my case, it's like, so what am I doing here? Like, what are we doing here? Why am I doing this? Am I just doing this to get a number? well, if I don't remember all the experiences, what's the fucking point? And then it just like a waft. All of it, all of that bullshit, all of that need to impress guys shit went off of me, and I was like, I'm gonna enjoy life now. I'm gonna do things that I enjoy doing. I'm not gonna be hyper fixated on minimizing and maximizing them, and I'm gonna enjoy myself. And it's so funny because life, not only did life get better, but I started having more at the same time. So it's but I can't tell a guy to do that. You have to kind of experience it for yourself. So yeah, for me, I knew when I started forgetting them or mixing them up. And I think and to be fair, that's the only standard I've seen. There's 2 standards that I know of that I don't want to, like, this is the truth, but it's about as close as I can get to saying that. It's guys, like, how many girls should I be sleeping with? You need to do it until you stop caring. And you're going to stop caring one of 2 ways. Either a girl is going to throw it in your face and you're going to be like, I'd rather get a nap. Or you're going to be like, who the hell are you? And it's like, oh, we slept together for like 3 weeks. You're like, huh, was I any good? Like, one of those 2 scenarios have to happen. The other one is about when do I settle down with a girl? And that's like literally give it a year. No red flags for a year, and it just kind of settled into it. Yeah. She consistently was impressive for a year. Kept her, even when her mask fell. It's awkward when you forget their names and like, at first it is, but sometimes you're able to leverage that. Like I remember in that one, we still slept together afterwards. And a lot of it was just like genuine curiosity. Like I was really sincerely wanting to know. And she let me know all the backstory. So I filled in the blanks. I kind of remembered sort of it. Turns out she was friends with a girl I had slept with before. And that was why she wanted me in the first place. And so it was like it was like a mini story. It's like finding the backstory. It's expanded universe shit. So I leveraged that one well. But yeah, I can see a lot of guys, if you're insecure about it, or if you're angry about it, or if you're in an asshole about it, it could probably do very badly. So yeah. And that's the point. At the time, again, wax nostalgia, it's the most important shit in ever. But after you get some time and some experience, and you kind of like normalize your new life processes, what you're doing, you realize like, oh my God, was this what the existential crisis was about? This is what I was mad about. My wife, my therapist poked fun at me for tracking my wife's cycle. It sounds so silly, right? But at the time it wasn't. And when everybody talks about doing the work, ultimately that's what it is. Everybody's misery is super important to them because that's like a direct threat to their well-being. Until you deal with it. And then it's like, it's just silly. And that's why guys pull up the ladder from them. Because they have their horrible moments. And there's hundreds of different embarrassing moments that we'd have. Or, oh my God, you tracked your wife's cycle. Or, oh my God, you dressed in a top hat to do pickup artist. Or something like, there was always some pain point that you had to get rid of. Then when you got rid of it, you realized how silly the whole thing was. But it's only silly now because it's not a problem. As soon as it becomes a problem again, it becomes existential. Girls crying, I can't find a man. They find a man. Hey, life's good. It's funny how that works. Even the black pill guys. You remember that joke where how good is your worldview when one blowjob is all it takes to completely upend it? Like Illimitable Man, he was all about hypergamous, Machiavellian this and women this. And then he finally got himself an e-girlfriend from Korea. Not even a girlfriend, like an electronic pen pal girlfriend. And he started talking about saving the West like the next day. It's like, bro, you need to have a consistent worldview to the point that getting a little pussy doesn't change it. Whether I'm getting laid or not, I'm pretty much the same guy. And it's kind of where you need to get. But hey, I'm just some guy. Neil Strauss wrote the game in his 30s. Maybe it's not too late. There's no such thing as too late. Like I said, just accept the fact that your first couple experiences are going to be a learning experience. Don't pick girls you want to keep. Enjoy a hate fuck. We're not designed for much. Like, we're not evolved for much. Procreation's the one thing. So if you're not procreating, it's like, let's trust your DNA. I don't know. I got no vested interests in your success or failure. So I enjoy talking about this space. I enjoy talking about the material. I enjoy not bullshitting people, and I enjoy things that work. I get a satisfaction from that and from the teaching side of it. But don't mistake this for concern. This is definitely a parasocial relationship. My teacher loves me. No, he doesn't. He loves teaching. Does that make sense? Ryan is shockingly warm and optimistic on camera. Why is he so different on Twitter? Because fuck those people. Oh, Twitter brings out the worst in me. Yeah, here's why. You know what's funny? Erudite, one of her goofy fanboys, asked this because when I did a podcast with her, a little collab, I was affable and pleasant. Some would say charming. Not her, but some. And then as soon as she got on Twitter, I was like, you fucking dumb bitch. But it's like, first off, there's a politeness to it. If I'm on your podcast as a guest, I'm a guest. You don't go to somebody's house and start talking shit about them. You don't come in there and act bad. Plus, it's the fact that it's a podcast format. There's a level of professionalism you're supposed to have coming into this stuff. In this case here, it's like, why do I need to be a prick to everybody? What am I doing? Is this going to be more entertaining for you? Like, maybe. And sometimes I will. Like, God knows I've been poking fun at Jack Murphy for 4 fucking years about the cuck article. So it's not like I don't want to hurt feelings. It's not because I don't want to poke fun. Yeah, the olive jar stuff like that, but like at the end of the day, and I hate using that term, but at the end of the day, this is an entertainment or infotainment product. And I know it's a very cynical way of looking at it, but it is. I am here to spread as much information from the 10 or so years where the red pill was really doing a serious amount of work that got a serious amount of mileage out of it and got a huge amount of like benefit in a high replicated, low rigor environment. And to express that here, entertaining enough that you guys are willing to buy my books and watch my stuff, ultimately. And what do I have to offer in trade for that? Offering it to you, it will be like, this will be beneficial. It will entertain you and it will inform you and it will give you tools that you can use in your life. That's kind of the arrangement. And a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people are like, just enjoy me because you're bored and you need something to watch. That was like my alternative for this topic, by the way, was do they like you or do they like the topic? That's the other thing. Yeah, red pill is the only thing I still get mileage out of. Yeah, same. And it's funny too. Everybody thinks, oh, the red pill guys, you're supposed to have it all together and nothing ever goes wrong. It's like, no, that's not the case at all. To this day, I still find covert contracts in my life. Rolo still finds them in his life after like 30 years or whatever. The difference is you identify them faster and you crush them faster. That's really it. You just get better at not fucking up. It's not saying you'll never fuck up again, but when you fuck up, you fix it quick. And that's great. I think that's a good enough skill. What were we talking about here? Oh, the alternative was like, yeah, do they like you or do they like the topic? And I'm gonna shit on Myron on this one because it's like such a perfect example. So you obviously know Fresh and Fit, wildly popular. 30,000 people watching him yell at chicks on whatever. It makes you wonder, do they like Myron and Walter? Or I guess Amrel Fuddle? Do they like Amrel Fuddle? Or do they like and Walter? Or do they like the content? Or do they like the topic? And like, how would you know? Well, that's easy. Have them do a different topic. And this is something else. This is me talking business now. So Myron at one point switched. He was starting to do like his Fed files or something. He was like, as a federal agent, let me show you how this shit works. And then he would start running his mouth on shit. Went nowhere, died on the vine. Nobody cared to watch it. They don't like Amrel Fuddle. They like the topic. They like the content. He's in the right place, but he's not the right person. Where I, on the other hand, have spent a serious amount of work on making sure it's you like me regardless of the topic. So for example, you're watching me here. We do the red pill stuff. It's absolutely great. That's the topic. However, I go to the other channel and I play fucking Minecraft for 2 hours. I can get a sizable group of people watching that one too. I decide to go write some fictional science fiction and literotica, contemporary fiction type books. And I will get a sizable audience to go and watch that stuff too. And I think that's and this is because a lot of my career training has been in threat, risk management, compliance, security, information, right? The big point of this is risk analysis. What is the risk? If, let's say tomorrow, they decide to ban misogyny on social media. No more women, no more white claws, no more Red Pill, that's it. You guys are all gone. Myron loses everything overnight. He has nothing else he can talk about. I think now he's shitting on the Jews, but I mean, good luck. After the midterms are over, the anti-Semitism doesn't really play too well. I'm leaving that up and just let that sit. That's fucking funny. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, because that one's a dry topic. It's a very dry topic. I understand. Where was I going with this one? Yeah. Oh, so that's one of your risks. And that's one of the things you have to do. It's called a threat and risk management. You always take a look at and because, I'm going to try to keep this like late, but. So what we used to do is you'd have what's called perimeter defense. Protect all of your entry points and exit points into your brand or your business, and it would be good. But with the internet, the perimeter is way too large. You're on too many different platforms. There's too many entrance and exit nodes. You cannot keep control of them, and it becomes a risk because as soon as you forget one, that's where everything comes in. So you pick something you can actually manage, what they call asset defense, where you pick what are your assets, and that's where the TRA comes in. And this is kind of where I'm getting to at this point. Threat and risk analysis. So what are your assets? You know, there's hardware assets like the computer, the camera, this sort of other thing. There's your brand loyalty. Like, am I considered trustworthy enough that you guys are willing to watch this week after week? There's that. There's the different platforms you're on. YouTube is an X dollar amount asset. Substack another one. Amazon another one. You get my point? So you take all of your assets, and then you go through a list like, what can fuck this up? A ban on Twitter. We'll block Twitter. We'll ban from Twitter. What's the likelihood that'll happen? And then what are the potential damages of it happening? Losing a Twitter account, it's not the end of the world. It's actually a very low risk, low potential damage event because Twitter only pays like $60 a month, so I don't give a fuck. It also has no traffic drivers. It's like 0.3%. Emails do better. So then what measures do I have to take on this? And this kind of gets back to that original question. Well, do I worry about terms of service violations? Not so much. Not at the expense of entertaining the audience. Not at the expense of playing to my strengths, which in this case is like, I don't like bullshit. So yeah, if calling somebody an asshole is an honest thing, I'll say it. Fuck it. On the other hand, YouTube, which is a sizable percent of the income, has terms of service, which I'm going to strictly adhere to because getting banned off of YouTube is a big fucking deal compared to getting banned off of Twitter. And so that's another reason why you're going to see me act very amicable and professional here, as opposed to Twitter, where I act like a fucking cunt. Because the risk assessments. And it's funny, all this stuff. I really wish, and I've been talking about this for years, and nobody gives a shit, and no brands will listen to me. Even Nuke was like, you should do a course on this. I'm like, why? Nobody will pay for it. Everybody just wants to fuck up the old-fashioned way and learn things the hard way. Nobody's going to pay me to keep their career going long-term. Yeah. But if you can just start adopting this, like it's like there was a Submariner petty officer first class when I was working at the base information services. He told me this stuff. He was like, at the time, I wasn't the greatest communicator. I was good, like for my peers, but a lot of the older guys are like, yeah, you guys don't know shit. And he told me the best piece of advice is just always keep security in the back of your mind before making a decision, and you'll never go wrong. And it was the same thing here. Just keep the idea of risk management in the back of your head when making business decisions, and you will never make a bad decision. And that's the adage I've kind of held on to. So in this case, yeah, threat, risk management. Reputation. Never rug pull. I get to rug pull you guys once. So don't rug pull the audience, because after that's gone, you've lost a huge amount of goodwill, and it's never coming back. I can fuck up, sure, but not like purposefully. Not, oh, it's the crypto coin. Yeah, no. Because now nobody's going to trust you again. Same thing with like, and I know it's a bad example because this is all just kayfabe and bullshit IP brands talking anyway. I lost all respect for mine when he allied with that broken toy Fuentes. Both of those guys, like imagine going on and collaborating with either one of them. You already know. That's a reputational hit. Yeah, you might get a bunch of like slack jaws and rubbernecking, But if there's people that take you seriously and your income is derived from being taken at least somewhat seriously or sincerely, that's a risk. And like you better hope that your risk pays off. So what's a mitigating strategy? For me, it's just like, yeah, just don't collect. What's that line? Do I even have it in here? I hope I have it in here because I love that one. I don't. Oh, buddy. Son of a bitch. We're uploading it. It's good. It's good. I haven't done this one in forever. Gotta give it a second. There she is. Rich Cooper's advice. Probably the best advice I've ever received from anybody. And I still use it to this day. Don't work with retards. And don't work with people who work with retards. Damn, that's good. Yeah, just don't work with retards. Don't work with people who work with retards. And I'm not perfect at that, but I guarantee keeping that in the back of my mind. Because Rolo's worked with a lot of retards, but I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's worth it. He's actually built up such a great cache of goodwill that he can make those mistakes. Plus the fact that he does it sincerely. He never collabs with retards because he's cynical and just wants to grow his brand. He always does it because he generally likes the guys or he thinks the best of them. Yeah, he gets rug pulled a lot by other guys. He gets run up the flagpole, so I think I can make an exception on that one. But at the same time, fucking guy. Now. You know what I mean when I mean retarded. When I mean retarded, I'm talking about Fuentes. And I get everybody has some strong opinions about him, but just from a business standpoint, I get it. He's trying to be the shock jock. He's trying to be what's that fucking idiot's name? There's the right-wing radio guy and the serious radio guy, and I can't remember either of their names. The one kept yelling about the goddamn liberals. Yeah, there it is. I collab with retards before I know they're retards. Exactly. Rush Limbaugh and the curly-haired guy. God damn it. Anyways, whatever. You guys know who I'm talking about. So I get that's what the Fuentes guy is. He's that. I want to piss off as many people as possible to build Howard Stern, thank you, to build in-group loyalty. Of course, that also means like I'm perfectly willing to burn bridges with any collaborator that I can get an ounce from. So it's like, do you really want to take on that risk? What do you think of the odds that Nick Fuentes' audience is going to start latching onto you? And do you even want that? It's like, I don't know, man. I can't picture any diehard Fuentes fans being the kind of people that I would love to have in my spaces, or that would be a good, what's the commercial term for it? Cost per customer or whatever, or lifetime revenue expectations per customer, something like that. I can't remember the term for it. Essentially, like, if this guy decides to follow me, what is the like, how much per year is he going to spend on my product? I'm pretty sure those guys are cheap as shit too. So yeah, no, not doing a Fuentes cast. Yeah, but think of the thing. Or Pierce Morgan. How everybody goes on him to get fucking berated. It's like, fuck that. Yeah, but he's on national TV. It's like, I don't fucking care. Do you really think the soccer mom watching Pierce Morgan yell at fucking Pearl or Tate or whoever? Oh, dude, this guy's actually making sense. Like, how often do we have to be... Remember that whole thing about don't talk to reporters? And we all knew it. Back in 2016, all these like right-wing influencers were like, finally, my chance. And they got to be on mainstream media, and they went on to BBC. There was a Red Pill one, actually. Red Pill School, a.k.a. PK Atheists. I think it was him. Robert Fisher went on to the BBC podcast to talk about Red Pill with them. And now, while I can't judge him because I did the 21 convention, so fuck, who am I to judge for what you decide to do with your thing? But he went on the media thing, and the BBC absolutely cut it up, and they just wanted to see evil misogynists doing evil misogynist things, evil misogynist. And he went on there. He's like, yeah, dude, they cut the shit out of this interview. I had long, well thought out answers, well articulated, and they just made me sound like a fucking retard. It's like, well, and then so everybody kind of knew, but a lot of guys keep thinking it's like, oh yeah, but this is a big brand. I can get onto the CBC. I can get on to, MSNBC and then get my point out there, and then I'll grow my audience and this shit. And then all it ends up doing is they turn you into a fucking laughing stock. Huge risk, but that's how they get you. It's like it's almost like a scam. And the only people that scam works on are the fearful and the greedy. And in this case, it's greedy. Jesus Christ. You look like my great-grandmother if you slicked your hair back. Thank you for the content, sir or madam. Are you even allowed to say anymore? Retro Games HQ, you son of a bitch. I just wish I could look like... Oh, no, I can't look like my great-grandma because she had an afro. Grandma Jackson, I remember her. That's too funny. So, yeah, your great-grandmother had the Trinity hair from The Matrix. It's good, though. So this is going to be the final growth period. Hair talk now. We're talking metrosexual. Jazz hands. So you just let it grow at first, and then you end up with like a long tail in the back, which makes you look like a hick. So what I have to do for the first couple 2-inch grows is cut the back so it shorts off, and then you get like this until eventually the long part grows off, and that's when you can get like, remember the proper like the flashy mullet I had back during COVID? About another 4 to 6 months I'll probably be there again. And then I just need one more haircut and it'll be good. Let's leave the grandmothers out of this. Yeah, Sluggo, you kind of nailed it too. Yeah, Rolo brings a lot of people up from nothing. It's hard to know what they'll become when they're starting out. It's a weird thing. Like, I think back to it, and the dynamic was crazy. Where, like, you know what a kingmaker is, right? Or a tastemaker? People that work in, like, publishing or media, and if they decide that you're going to be good, they'll put you out and they'll make you a star. Rolo is kind of like an incubator for that, where he's not like a kingmaker, but if you're getting your start and Rolo takes an interest in you, that's a great way to start growing. And I honestly wish more guys were like that. There's not very many. I've tried my best to always push people smaller than me, and part of it's self-interest. A rising tide lifts all boats, right? Like if I'm pushing for Jack and Nuke and Stripper and all that shit, a rising tide lifts all boats. Somebody who likes me likes Jack stuff. Somebody likes Jack likes Nuke stuff. Somebody likes Nuke likes Stripper stuff. And all of these guys have a couple of people that like my stuff. So everybody grows, and then everybody gets what they want. And the one thing that people want, like, oh, I watched one Red Pill content, one Red Pill show. You know what's great? Another Red Pill show. They want more. I even remember, like, Rolo, you remember this, when we were first doing Red Man Group, of all things. And I think it was, fuck. I could be getting some of the dates wrong, but quote me on this. I think it was like George Bruno or something like that asking, like, what are we doing here? And I remember mouthing off being the nobody in the group. So, you know, it'd be great. Or no, it might have been Donovan. You know, it'd be great is if somebody could turn on YouTube or whatever program they're working on, and 24/7, 365, there is something they can watch. They can go tune into Donovan's thing, or they'll watch the Red Man Group, or they'll watch Rolo's thing, or Carl's thing. Maybe they're done watching TV, they want to read a book. There's always a book there. I was like 100% saturation, because I see so many spaces where people are at each other's throats trying to get a small piece of pie. Instead, if you guys just all stop fighting each other and just build the pie. Even if you can't stand the guy, the more they're talking about him, the more of it's going to pass on to you. You're creating your own market. Now, that didn't work out at all because I don't know what they did. I think it was because Anthony tried to sleep with Rolo's dad or Rolo's daughter. Once that happened. One Tekken for pennies, please. Oh, sure. We'll get to Tekken for pennies and we'll do the other one here. Where in the fuck did I put it? We'll do the short one.
If you're sitting there going, oh, my wife's a 3, I play Tekken for pennies, my name's Ryan Stone, your life sucks. So he actually nailed it. Don't start something you won't finish. Don't start something you won't finish. Everyone have a little bit of faith. My name's Ryan Stone, I play Tekken for pennies, chill a little bit, and just go, you know what, Tate's got it.
Fuck, I forgot how fun those ones were. It sucks that they really did ruin Tekken. Oh, here we go. But at least Softbone is better than bad. It is all right. Will the sequel be available after the Kickstarter ended? Yes. Thank you very much. And honestly, that's it. I don't expect to make like the greatest book in the history of whatever. I want the book to be good, and I want people to get their money's worth. I think that's not much to ask. Because, like, the book is, what is it, about 50, 60,000 words? 60,000 words, let's say a 6-hour read, 6 to 8 hour read, depending on how fast you are, right? Or 4 to 8 hours. If you're chesty, you can read it in fucking 4. I want to know if somebody spends $10 on an ebook, $20 on a paperback, or $30 on a hardcover, that they are going to get 4 to 8 hours of enjoyment out of it. Is it the greatest thing you've ever read in your life? I don't expect to be better than like Dune or Lord of the Rings, but I do expect it to say, I am glad I did that. I would do it again. So when you say better than bad, I can live with that. It is all right. Yeah. Was it a waste of your time? No, I can live with that. Will the sequel be available? So the plan, I'll give you guys the plan as it stands now. Right now, the one bottleneck is waiting for my artist to bring back my 4 pieces. There's going to be a black and white and a color special edition copy for both Softbone and Ghost of Odessa. Once those are in, I've done all the work behind the scenes, getting the books ready to go. I add the cover art to it, and I print out the copies that are going to the Kickstarters, and then I'm sending that out to everybody. Once that's done, and it's going to be like a week or 2 after that, gives everybody time to get it first, then I'm going to release the original stuff, like the normal version of it. So that's the plan as it stands now. And then 3 months later, have an audiobook out, because it give it that second wind and gives me time to record it. So that's the plan now. So yeah, it will be available on there. And I've been seeing, I don't know, So one of the things I looked into was Ingram Spark, where they do like you print on demand things. It's kind of like Amazon, but without a storefront. But they also have options to like, how do you get your stuff into bookstores and libraries and that? And I was like, I'm going to start spending some time looking into that side of things, because I would hate to think that there is potential for me to push the books on a business side to a larger audience, to more print distribution. I've kind of tried to avoid traditional publishing because I find it all to be horribly inbred theater kid, and like they're just wasting money trying to feel important. And I'm like, it's a fucking business, dude. Rate your goddamn books. But anyways, that's the plan for now. Chat of Arabia, Misha himself, Sar 375. Thank you, Sar. This should help with the new office renovations. Oh, thank you very much, sir. To be fair, I actually kind of like the new office. First off, it's sunnier. It's less like a dungeon in here. I have a feeling like always working in the dark was probably killing my eyes. The bookshelf is way bigger now. Because like instead of before, well, I just had the 2 long bookshelves. Now I have like an entire stacked one here. I'll send you guys a picture one day. It's really fucking awesome. Oh, I forgot about hell. The only thing that sucks is because there's so much backlighting. I've really got to work on the front lighting, but I'll figure that one out. But yeah, it's like being in a cockpit. And then I can just look over, see the CN Tower. Who knows how long I'll be in Toronto. Get the fuck out of here. But that should help, sir. Even radioactive Jared Taylor is pretty red-pilled. Honestly, so when it comes to who is or who isn't red-pilled, there is deceptively a lot more red-pilled people than you think. It's just there's not very many red people who are willing to say they're red-pilled. And there's even a lot of people you would think of as progressive or blue and not red at all, who absolutely are red, but they just kind of present themselves as the feminist ally online. I wish I could. I would love to name more names. I don't know a lot, but I do know a few people that I'm like, holy fuck, that guy's red-pilled? Jesus. Like important people, fancy people, famous people, people I have no business knowing have reached out to me. And I'm a fucking nobody. Rollo's probably got some big ones. I remember his one flex that I heard about, and I'm not naming names, just general things. He was a elected official to a fairly decently high office that was reaching out when they had to revisit some sort of child custody law thing. And from his work, he wanted to do it in a way that was more fair to men. And it was crazy because it was like, this is a person that's actually going to decide the fate of millions of guys. And he was in a position to decide that almost unilaterally. And then he was like influenced by Rollo stuff, and he reached out to him and he wanted to hear what he thought about this. And he'd already kind of saw it from the books. And I was like, holy shit. I think that's awesome. I had an essay about Red Dead Wolverine. He was another one. He joined, I think, same week as us too. He's one of those guys. One of our class of 2008 or whatever year it was. I don't know, 2014. And he had eventually left the red pill space and he started joining. He created a church youth group, which good for them. The church needs a lot more red pill guys, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. And so he started doing like a Protestant version of Catholic confession, kind of like my workshop I do. But he was doing it for Christian guys. They were doing it in person. And then he was teaching guys, and they were going out to other churches. So it was like spreading like little wildfires, which was awesome. And eventually he got doxxed by some idiots online, and he had a lot of hate coming at it from his church and shit like that. And it eventually it buckled a little bit, but he eventually recovered. Don't know where he's at now, but the last I saw was 2 years ago. He's still going strong with it, and I think that's awesome. But if you asked him in real life, do you know anything about I don't know what the fuck the red pill is. What are you talking about? So it's always one of those things I keep in mind. Even if I'm acting like a dick on Twitter and calling some guy a simp or whatever, keep in mind there's probably a lot more people on there who know what the fuck they're doing than you'd think. And I think that's great. I think it's better as some kind of like almost a secret society, like a head nod. And you're going to love this reference because it's so literally gay. There's a code that gay dudes used to use back when being gay was illegal or whatever. It was like handkerchiefs. And you would put a handkerchief in your back pocket, and depending on the color of it, it said what you were into. So like one handkerchief says, yeah, I give hand jobs. The other one's like, I blow jobs. The other one's like, yeah, straight to the pooper. Shit like shit like that. And I think it's hilarious how like the red pill dudes are essentially like the San Francisco homosexuals of the 1960s. Yeah, this one here. Well, this is another thing. This is like the fake ally enemy, the ones that pretend to be red pill, the George Brunos, the AJ Cortez, the ones where they like pretend to be red pilled because it's hot and cool right now, but then they move on to the next thing and they don't really care. They just liked it because it was edgy and provocative and they thought they could build a brand off of it, which is really the same thing as like going on with Nick Fuentes. That same attitude, right? Couch would be looks maxing with cervicular and stripper. First off, I'm not calling it. Fuck that term. I don't like the idea of looks maxing. I think it's ridiculous. Man up. Just call it being a metrosexual like anybody else. The fuck's a metrosexual? A metrosexual is a man who looks too good to be straight and gets too much pussy to be gay. For that guy, metrosexual. Be that. Don't looks max. Fuck that. And plus, their looks max shit is stupid. What's that one that they have to hit themselves in the head with a hammer? That used to be they're doing Looney Tunes shit. What's next? Be a real man. How do you be a real man? Well, you draw a cave in the side of a rock face, and then you drive into the cave, and then you escape the Roadrunner. Is that what the fuck look smacking is right now? Acme bombs, a big sign that says "Yikes" while you walk over a cliff, and as long as you don't look down, you don't fall. Like fuck, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's all, folks. And this, I mean, here, yaff, butts, or whatever the hell, I don't even know how to pronounce that. It's just random letters. You just mesh the keyboard. I can live with that. Yeah, see, and look, you understand everything. You've read everything. You get it. You've made some effort with it. You saw a buddy who got left at the altar who absolutely needed it, and he didn't change a thing. And he's not going to. And that's the other reason why it's not going to be big. As soon as you tell a guy he's red pill, he's going to check right out. I'm not listening to this shit. You know why? Because when you think red pill, what do you think? You think Nick Fuentes and Myron Amrell Fuddle on there yelling at ghetto chicks with OnlyFans accounts. That's what you think of. So yeah, they're going to tune it out. The marketing is horrible. And I'm fine with that. The red pill, horrible marketing. Probably the worst marketing of any online niche in existence, with the exception of a lot of the anti-Semitism stuff. And even then, I think the anti-Semitism guys are pulling ahead, because have you seen some of those YouTube videos or like those shorts they're putting out? The ones with the black sun? There's some fucking really good production quality coming out of there. So even the anti-Semite branding is better than the red pill branding. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel to know like the LARPy Nazi guys have better marketing than you? Ouch. Yeah, and I got to give credit to Carl. Carl's the one that got me started on that too. Just write this space, locker room. I try to use the word praxeological as opposed to red pill, whatever possible. I still do use it, but it's like very throwaway. Very throwaway. So yeah, why are we so angry? That's why we're angry. All this stuff. Of course it makes you angry. You kind of need anger too. Anger gets shit done. When I'm yelling at not so erudite on Twitter, oh fuck. You wouldn't believe the quality of my video editing content goes up exponentially. When I'm yelling at Destiny for being a drugged out chick fucker. That fucking cucksmurf. Calling him cucksmurf. Oh, dude, that hones the mind. You need anger. Anger gets you going. Pete Hesketh thinks men need to be masked. See, that's the other thing. Like this, that the Hesketh guy, is he the one that wants to deport all the Mexicans? Or is he the one that like benches 315 in front of the Marines? I don't remember. But this is what we used to call it, like truck nuts masculinity or Miller Lite masculinity. That's why I got that Miller Lite Hawaiian shirt I wear every now and again with the big Miller Lite cans on it. Men need to be masculine and manly like Chuck Norris. They don't actually pick masculine traits. They pick superficial masculine traits. That's where you get like leather and whiskey, consumer products, a truck. You need to drop tires in the back of your truck. You need to get a lift. If you don't have a stair on your truck, then what kind of man are you? You need to get a leather belt because real men use leather. And you know what? The only reason those things are considered masculine is because women don't buy them. Women don't like big, thick leather belts. They like dainty shit. So when you buy something, it's like, what do women hate? I'll buy 4 of those. A shotgun. Women hate guns. I'm going to bid a big shotgun. I'd argue a lot of those guys, and they latch on to like, oh, I'm Second Amendment. Fuck that. Look, I know, and I'm not here to demean the American Constitution. God knows as a Canadian, I understand the importance of it. But I am saying probably, I would say a vast majority of those guys who latch onto that shit don't give 2 shits about that. They just like the idea of buying the big, scary gun makes them more masculine because women won't do it. I can guarantee you that's the case, which really sucks because they wear the Second Amendment on their sleeve and they don't plan to do anything about it. Which really sucks for you guys that do take it seriously because they make you look like retards. You now have your own Amrel Fuddle, and it's the, what do they call them? Fuds. Fuds. 3 books that are not red pill that a man should read. I don't know if should read's the good term for it. But what would I suggest if a guy is, I want to read 3 books and I'm not given any criteria? I would just probably pick the 3 books that I enjoyed. I would probably say Delicious Tacos and Now for Some Good News. That's a fun book. I would probably say Dune because it's the only book I've read 3 times or more. And Fight Club. Fight Club was actually a good book. I would probably say that too. If you want to say nonfiction, I mean, I'm not allowed to say mine, obviously, but to be fair, what was that one? Dark Alchemy. That was actually an interesting book. It's not as popular as I thought, but it was the idea of teaching you about logical things. It's not even teaching, but it's articulating. Like everybody wants everything to be logical and rational, and it was talking about the super logical. And I've always been a big fan of like Rory Sutherland and a lot of his marketing talk. The idea of going after like pathos. So many books are logos. The only people I've seen is that one, Dark Alchemy, and anything by Rory Sutherland, where they actually talk about the pathos in a convincing argument. What's the emotional resonance with this? And I enjoy that stuff. So that's probably where I'd go. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of other examples, but those would be some quick, easy ones. That's top of my head shit. You talk shit on them boys, but you can't tell about female nature. So true. Anyways, where are we going here? He's the one. Okay, so he is the one that did the bench press in front of the Marines. I do think it was funny how mad everybody got on that. Like, I get it. I hate conservatives. You got to yell at whatever. He's using fake weights. And it's like, does this matter? This does not make a good Secretary of Defense or Secretary of War. Having said that, though, the last Secretary of Defense was a fucking trooned out fat dude. So it's like, yeah, maybe I can see the value in like, here, you see this one? He's never going to wear a dress. You know why? Because he lifts weights. You can't lift weights in a dress. You can get a lifting shirt. But, I mean, it's all theater. What does Chesty always say? Bros, browns, and bitches, and not one of them are going to save you. And sure enough, they went. I'm so amazed how fast we went from, like, Caesar has crossed the Rubicon. How fast we went from that to, like, oh, it's Reagan. No new wars, kicking out all the immigrants, fixing the economy. What happened? Economy's shit. AI has stolen everything. tariffs so nobody else gets to trade with the States. Domestic manufacturing hasn't improved. Oops. No new wars. And they're like, yeah, for Israel. And they're doing all that shit right now, going after the Middle East, like all of the Middle East. Oops. What's next? We're trying to kick out. I bet you anything. I don't know. Have they done it yet where they're going to talk about an amnesty, a general amnesty of all the illegals in America? If they do that, like, I don't know. I don't want it to happen. Like, guys, you got to understand, as one of the peripheral nations, being the neighbor, I want America to win. And I hate Canadian anti-Americanism, if for no other reason than just the self-interest. If America does well, Canada does well. You guys will trade more with us, and all of our politicians and all of our cultural people will take their cues from America. If America started making volleyball the coolest sport on earth, you best believe Canada would make a volleyball team tomorrow. When Rome does well, everybody does well. Plus the fact that it lets me know how bad can things get. Doesn't matter how bad things get here, as long as America holds together, because we'll never do better than that. So that's it. That's where even Alabama, we're doing worse than Alabama, but like, as long as Alabama's all right, it's like we can get to that. But if America drops, what the fuck chance do we have, man? So yeah, I want you guys to win. Feel the same with Europe. Yeah. I'm just not expecting it to happen. Having said that, there is a lot of advantage in assuming and being more realistic with this stuff. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but Israel and America have started bombing Iran. Turns out they took out Iran in like 3 days. 50 years of subterfuge and espionage, and Trump's like, just shoot the bastard. And it fucking worked. And I was like, holy shit. All of a sudden, all the horror scenarios, they've been talking about this since like 2000. Iran will mine the Straits of Hormuz and cut off oil supply, and the shock of the system this and the shock of the system that. And sure enough, I checked the stock market, man. Everybody's like, everything that uses gas is like dropping like a rock. And I'm like, fucking sweet. So the first 3 days, watching everything drop and then just throwing money into it. There you go. Once all the panic wears off, I'm like, oh, never mind. The Straits of Hormuz are still going. Oil is still doing fine. Venezuela is producing more now. It's just, oops. All those people that panic sold, oh, you're going to be making a killing when they get back into the market. It's just like COVID. As much as I hated COVID and I was very angry with COVID, financially, I did very well in COVID. My brother did very well in COVID. A lot of my friends did very well in COVID. Anybody who was smart. And sure enough, like one of the stocks that I was watching at the time went from 50 a share to 13. And I was like, holy shit. And sure enough, I took all my money out of the market beforehand because I just knew it was happening. So I had just a boatload of cash and I put it all into that. And oh my God, oh, it was a windfall. It was great. It was technically all the money I had from leaving the military. So what they do is they do a return to contributions. So it's like you get what you paid into your pension back. Lump sum, you have to pay taxes on it. Very annoying. Put it into a tax-free, so I know capital gains on it. And then it was just like, didn't know what to do with it. And then COVID hit, and I'm like, I know what to do with it now. And it's been great. It's been great. And I'm not bragging, but I'm just saying, as much as we like to bitch and moan about how bad everything is, if you're smart, you'll get through it. Fuck, Chesty's thing, he was just on with, which channel were we on? It was either Jack or Rob. I don't remember which. But he was talking about his like real estate market in the States, investing and shit. It's just horrible. And you don't want another 2008 crisis. So what does he do? He bought farmland. And you know what he does? He leases the farmland out to farmers. Because I didn't know this, but it turns out, and I found this out from a Louisiana hot sauce and sriracha documentary. So the company that makes sriracha, the hot sauce, they were hiring these farmers to get them the peppers. And then they wanted the farmers, and the farmers have like 18 different plots. And then they, 6 plots for this company, 6 for this, 6 for this. So if any one company doesn't want any that year, they don't lose all their money. And then sriracha wanted like, I want 100% of your stock next year. And they're like, no, we can't take that risk. So what they'll do now, so they don't have to take on the risk of owning all this extra farmland because the margins are razor thin, private investors buy this farmland. And so they're like, yeah, so this year Sriracha wants us to give them an extra bunch of peppers. We want to lease your plot of land. It's like, fuck, it's all yours. And then if you don't, you just pay taxes on it. And I was like, oh my God, that's great. And he's like, yeah, you know what the best part is? You don't have to deal with like tenants. And I was like, fuck, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thumbnail is based. Thank you, sir. The thumbnail, actually, it's an art style called Stuckism. I've been looking into what like some of the new stuff in the art stuff was. Stuckism. It's the idea of, and I'm probably butchering the philosophy behind it, but it's the idea of like we are stuck in the nostalgia of things. And so they're doing like a very, if you remember Alex Winter's MTV style of stuff in the 80s, like if you watch Freaked or any of the old MTV shorts, it's kind of that sort of style. Butthole Surfers also used a lot of the stuff like that. It's the idea of like being forever children. Anyways, it has like a specific look to it, and it's really hard to articulate, but yeah, I just like it, so I've been kind of playing around with that one. All right. I just realized we're totally out of time. We got to end the episode. I hope you guys got this. Like the reason why we're angry. Hope you got entertained. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you learned a little bit. At the very least, for those with the Kickstarter, do it this weekend. I will give you an update when the art stuff is in. I'll be working like a madman to get that in your hands. I'll be shipping them all from here. I got my label printer ready because I got to get like 200 of these ones out. So I'm looking forward to that. But what can I say? It's going to be great. And then once that's out, for all you guys that just wanted the regular old-fashioned book and you didn't want to support the Kickstarter, that's fine too. You'll be out soon enough. As always, Jack's narration of... oh, I have to check on that too. I usually check before the episode, but I forgot. Completed... Still in review. So Praxeology Volume 4, Even the Best Men, is in review. It was been in review since the 27th of February. It's usually 10 days for approval. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So it looks like by Monday, that should be out. So if you wanted to see the new Praxeology, but you prefer the audiobook, hopefully Monday, as long as nothing got wrong. Did you get the Rolo printer? Fair enough. Speaking of hot sauce, wrestler Antonio Inoki took Tabasco back to Japan to introduce it there. Uh-oh. You know, once Japan has Tabasco, they're going to take some like crazy autistic perfection to it. Anyways, enjoy yourselves, guys. I'll talk to you next week. I'm going to try, you're hosting. I'm going to try to join it. I'll probably be a little bit late though. I want to have lunch first. That's one thing on these I never used to eat. So it was like a straight 4 hours of podcasting, no breakfast. And I was like, yeah, you got to earn it. Now I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm big enough now. I'm taking a lunch. So I'll catch you guys. I'll catch you guys later. Catch Jack on Rule Zero. We're all going down there. I think the topic is going to be about boundaries and that. So I'll pop in when I can. Cheers, boys.
And Ryan Stone. He's a halfway decent looking guy, a nice smile. You have to get through that wall because he...
79T 2458 Learning Corp Little Red Riding Hood, take one.
Somebody find out the real names for me.
40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense?
You have to get through that wall.
I only know what my heart feels.
Where they say there are Indian people pooping on our beach.
Socially retarded.
It's a spool of wire. 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone.